Okay. Am I on? Am I broadcasting? Okay, guys. Okay, everybody listen up. I don't know how long I can stay on here. Okay, so as you know, the world has just been turned upside down. There's demons everywhere. But, it's not just demons. It's other people. You don't know who you can trust. So, what we need to do is we need to band together. If we band together, we can fight this. No. Okay, guys, listen. Okay, I found this book. This book can help us. It can help us fight back. This can help us win. This will be our catalyst.
Catalyst is a role-playing game set in an alternate present in which demons have invaded, bringing with them war, magic, and plague. You play as one of the remaining 1% of humanity in a desperate struggle to survive.
So that was Alexander and Kaylee. So that was Alexander and Kaylee from Cherry Pick Games, just giving you a brief overview of what Catalyst is all about. If I was to describe Catalyst to somebody who didn't know what the system was all about, I would basically describe it as The Walking Dead without zombies. Because you have that, there's monsters in the world now that you need to contend with that were never there before. But then there's also this social aspect, whereas humans have come together in small clusters and groups and communities, and some are more dangerous and scarier than others. And it is all about survival and trying to survive in this harsh landscape. But there are some things in Catalyst I think are really, really cool. There are two concepts that take this RPG to the next level. They're your vigor and your vitae, or vitae, however you want to pronounce that. Your vigor is, at a basic level, it's your life points. And then your vitae, again at a basic level, is your mana points. They do go a little bit more complex than that. With your vigor, if you're at full vigor or pretty close to full, if you were to get stabbed with a knife or shot with a gun, or however you would take damage in the game, that wound would close right back up. But once your vigor drops to 0, that's when you start taking visible damage. So if you're at 0 and boom, you get shot with something or you get stabbed, that wound is going to stay. And the same thing with NPCs. It's a really interesting way. I think it works really, really interesting and cool for the GM to be running the game and to be like, okay, yes, you hit them and it closes right back up. Okay, you hit that person and it closes right back up. And you hit them and it heals instantly. So you don't know exactly how much damage you're doing until you get that one hit and he's bleeding out now. Or whatever happens to the creature, whatever you're doing. It's very interesting and gives you that, ooh, I'm finally doing something. I'm finally at that threshold that I could be really doing some nasty damage to them. Now, on the other side of that, there is the vitae, which is your mana, basically. You have a certain cap at that. That's how much you can do. Once it gets to 0, then you cannot do any actions that cost you any of that vitae. So there are certain things that are going to cost this energy to be able to do, superhuman things. You'll have abilities to do some mystical, magical, different types of things. Like with the character that I was playing when I was doing my little demo scenario, playing Kaelan O'Donnell, he has some pretty interesting abilities. He has an ability to foresee. So you can kind of like think into the future and see how things are going to play out, and he can make actions based on what's going to happen there. Well, that does take some of the vitae for him to be able to attempt to do those things. Now, if either your vigor or your vitae drop below your drop point, which is also going to be figured out onto your character sheet, then you are unconscious, because your vigor has dropped to that point, which is that you cannot take any more wounds, you pass out, or depending on how your GM wants to play things out, you could be dead if you go beyond that point. Your vitae just means you have pushed your body beyond what it's truly capable of, and you pass out just from sheer exhaustion. Those two concepts are just very interesting, and I really love how they're implemented into this game, and they're done so very, 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 very well. Now, as you can see, I've been playing around with some little cards here. This is another really awesome element to the game, because the combat system works similarly to other systems. You're going to be rolling some dice and having some random things happen based on how well or how poorly you roll, but taking those actions is going to be a little bit different. You're going to have some cards that are going to be your basic actions. So you're going to have stuff, like move. You have a couple different attacks where you can attack with range, you can attack with a melee weapon. You can do things like defend, or there's even an interact card. And depending on who your character is, you're going to have some additional abilities of stuff that you can do when you're in combat. Now, why do you have these cards? Well, in a normal RPG, a round of combat is around 6 seconds of combat. And you can do usually 2 or 3 things during that combat. Usually a move and some type of attack. And you'll go in order of however you rolled for, you'll go in initiative order. Well, if the first person takes their turn and they go and move and they attack somebody, then you can just sit and decide, well, you know what? I don't want to attack. I want to try to move and I want to interact with something over here. And the next person goes, well, that person's interacting, so I'm going to go over here and I'm going to attack this thing. Well, it's a little bit different here in Catalyst because of these cards. What you're going to do is you're going to look at all of your available actions that you have, and once everybody has rolled initiative, everybody at the exact same time, including the GM of the game, is going to do the same thing for all of the NPCs and enemies that are in the area. You're going to go ahead and you're going to pick a card that you want to do, and you're going to put it face down in front of you. Once everybody has placed a card face down in front of them, 1, 2, 3, flip, and that is the action that you are locked into for that round. Because in Catalyst, a round is only 2 seconds. So that will be the action that you're going to be taking. Now, I chose attack. Well, if everybody else chose attack, well, guess what? Nobody can be doing any interacting or moving or defending or anything like that. So this makes it very interesting how you get locked into whatever you're doing. In the first time I was talking to Alexander, he said that they were going into a combat situation that wasn't really that good, but he thought everybody was going to, go in guns a-blazing and they were going to be able to get through it. So everybody chose their actions, 1, 2, 3, flip. He chose to attack. Everybody else chose to move. So everybody else booked it out of there, and he was left to be the lone attacker. And I don't know if it worked out too well for him or not. But having that card makes it very interesting. After everybody's done their action, you get your card back into your hand, and then you continue on until that interaction is dealt with and over. So that does make it really, really interesting. I really love this card system. There are, obviously you're going to have a player sheet, which I'm going to flash on the screen here. This was the demo character that I did when I was playing with the people at Cherry Pick Games. So I was playing Kaylin O'Donnell, who is a drug-addicted, let's call him a miscreant. So he had some issues with his life, but now that the demons have taken over, he wants to try to make good with himself, but well, he still might be slightly addicted to everything. So he does have some issues, but it just gives him a cool, interesting backstory that he has all those issues. There is also this really cool tracker sheet, so that way you can track your vitality and you can track all of your vitae and all of your information on these these really nice trackers that you can print right from Cherry Pick's website. There is also an app that everybody can use. So you can use an app if you didn't want to fiddle with the cards. You can download the app and you can go ahead and be able to flip your card and track all of your vital information and everything you need to right there on your phone. Now, right now, the app is only available for Android devices, which is what I have, so pretty happy about that. They are working on the iOS version. Later on, I'm going to post a video for my actual playthrough with that, and you'll hear at the end, I did ask him about that. And there might have been some slight issues with it getting launched, but it is coming soon. So you can definitely check that out. You'll be able to have that for both devices. So I'll have a link down below for Catalyst at Cherry Pick Games. You'll be able to find it there. It's also sold on Amazon, so you can find the physical version of it there. But if you go to their website, you'll be able to find the PDF version of the game and also some PDF sample scenarios. There's a couple scenarios that you can try out so you can learn the flavor of the world and everything. But definitely check this out. I really, really endorse this. I had a lot of fun. I cannot wait to do a full campaign in this world. So thank you so much for watching. I have my subscribe button right down there. I'm going to have my Patreon somewhere around here, but if you go ahead and click right over there, I'm going to have a video of when I actually sat down and played with the folks at Cherry Pick Games. So it was Alexander and Kaylee returned for a second session with me, and then they were joined by Dinah. Now, the reason this is, I call it the second session, is because we tried for one session over Google Hangouts, and my audio was absolutely horrible, and it was unusable, and you couldn't even hear me. Well, unfortunately, there were still some audio demons that were in this recording, but this was a lot better. So if you want to click over there and watch our session and see how the game works a little bit, just go ahead, give that a click, and give that a watch. Otherwise, thank you for watching.
This program is part of the Pathological Nerdcasters Network. Find more at pncn.rocks, where all the geeks come to play.